I can't remember all our resource people. We really enjoyed it, and I pray that God Almighty will continue to help them and will continue to promote the Max-Migold. Thank you.
So, how do you decide? How do you decide the cost of a service to someone? There's what we call the direct costs and the indirect costs. Of those three types of costs we talked about, they can be both direct and indirect. How do you decide ones that can be special? How do you decide the cost to the item or activity, a service that can be easily and accurately traced? There's what we call the direct cost and the indirect. So whether it is fixed, whether of those variable three types of costs that we talked about, they can be both direct and indirect. How do you decide ones that can be special? How do you decide the cost of the item or activity, a service that can be easily and accurately traced? There's what we call the direct cost and the indirect. So whether it is fixed, whether it's those variable three types of costs that we talked about, they can be both direct and indirect. How do you decide one by item? How do you decide the cost of the item or activity, a service that can be easily and accurately traced? There's what we call the direct cost and the indirect. So whether it is fixed, whether it's those variable three types of costs that we talked about, they can be both direct and indirect. How do you decide one by item? How do you decide the cost of the item or activity, a service that can be easily and accurately traced? There's what we call the cost, that are spread out over the period. They are related to the activity, but not directly. If I had a health and safety officer in the organization, for example, who is in supervising or inspecting and monitoring safety among the maintenance crew as well as the cleaning crew, that's cost of that health and safety officer, for example, is not a direct cost. And it's indirect. It is an indirect cost to cleaning. Things I provide for the organization, like insurance premium that I pay, utility costs for the building. For example, the cleaners will need lights to see. I cannot, directly say this is what cost of the light or electricity that we use that is used for cleaning, right? That you will learn on how to deal with indirect. Direct costs are straightforward. Indirect costs are the ones that you now really need to find a way to measure. So that's the basis of all we're going to be looking at in this class. This idea of how to share indirect costs. If I'm providing services in an estate, the direct costs are pretty straightforward. You pay for your internal spaces, whatever care I do for you, your internal spaces. You pay for utilities, which is straightforward, pretty straightforward. But when it comes to the indirect, which is the cost, your share of the common area usage, for example, then all kinds of bells and whistles go up. We need to find some means of, equitably today's presentation and the highlight of our discussion.
Hello.
the cost.
I'm here to tell you the truth and nothing else but the truth. This course is amazing, totally amazing. It has changed my concept about facility management. It has changed my view about facility management. It has made me a better facility manager. I urge you, if you want to take this course,
that are spread out over the period. They are related
in proper facility condition assessment, to aid you in your preventive maintenance, to aid you in general building fabrics maintenance. You understand different types of fabrics. You understand how to maintain different types of fabrics. You have a proper emergency plan. You know how to plan for emergencies, whether it's a fire outbreak, whether it's theft. You know these things. They teach you from the scratch.
To the activity, but not directly. If I had a health and safety officer in the organization, for example, who is in supervising or inspecting and monitoring safety amongst the maintenance crew as well as the cleaning crew, that cost of that health and safety officer, for example, is not a direct cost. It is an indirect cost to training. Things I provide for the organization, like insurance premium that I pay, utility costs for the building. For example, the cleaners will need lights to see. I cannot, directly say this is what cost of the light or electricity that we use that is used for cleaning, right? That you will learn on how to deal with indirect. Direct costs are straightforward. Indirect costs are the ones that you now really need to find a way to measure. So that's the basis of all we're going to be looking at in this class. This idea of how to share indirect costs. If I'm providing services in an estate, the direct costs are pretty straightforward. You pay for your internal spaces, whatever care I do for you, your internal spaces. You pay for utilities, which is straightforward, pretty straightforward. But when it comes to the indirect, which is the cost, your share of the common area usage, for example, then all kinds of bells and whistles go. You need to find some means of equitably today's presentation and the highlights of their pages, discussion, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and also join our Telegram group. We'll also hope that you would stay connected with our content. There's so much we're putting out on a daily basis. And now that we are preparing for the batch 19 of the Facility Management Mastercraft Diploma starting in August. Join us if you haven't, gone through the process. The cost management series, we did, cost effectiveness, all that, those issues that have to do with how to manage costs. Other items from that series will be coming to us in subsequent weeks. Today, we're also starting with the Sustainability in FM series. And today, we're looking at categories of sustainability and the triple bottom line. There are so many topics we can bring to you in this Sustainability in FM series. But today, we want to look at effective energy management. Now, as a preamble, I know that the moment we get into full deregulation of the petroleum industry in Nigeria, especially with the recent subsidy removal on the price of petrol, what many people start thinking about is the impact on the individual. Oh, I'm going to have to pay more transport to get to work and to go to where I'm going. All the prices of food and other things are going up. And so we get so concerned. And the next thing is clamoring for increased salaries, and even employers are all thinking about, yes, we need to increase salaries. But you know what? If there is a crunch on the business you to increase your salary, or letting you go, or folding up itself, right? And so I think the last thing the business will want to do is fold up itself. So what we're doing is looking out for fantastic, innovative, creative people who are solutions providers, who know how to save the business because they're committed and they're loyal, and then they will take those ones in to an inner caucus and let all of us go, because they are under pressure to increase salaries and wages. They can't keep everyone else who's not being useful. So if you are in a job today, or you are looking for work, this lesson is very important for you, because if you learn the things we are sharing here, you're going to show so much value that no employer will let you go, even if they have to let go 80% of their workforce. You will be the darling that will stay back, right? And you will get a raise just because of the things you're going to be learning in this session today. So for you, I say, sit tight. You're going to be learning a lot. And organizations that have employees who are in this session today, you're going to see, even in the midst of this cash crunch, you're going to see a marked improvement in your revenue, because there are so many areas that your revenue are entering into, that you will learn how to nip, close those loopholes and increase your profitability as a business from today's class. So we get right into it. So that's about me. For those who have not met me before, I have experience in managing facilities, across the country and globally. I lecture at the University of Lagos, a master's in FM program. I'm an IFMA instructor for all of the IFMA credentials and certification, including CFM. I have certifications from ROICS, IFMA, and the IWFM, and I've worked for large organizations managing some of the biggest FM portfolios in this part of the world. So I bring all that to you in taking this lesson today. So I'm going to just go straight to the energy. I told you I'm going to have different series in this. So I'm going to look at the triple bottom line and all of those sustainability areas, in another lesson. Because of the lunch hour being a compact session, I would like to go straight into energy. For us, energy is the fuel, is what runs our lives. Okay, so our productivity, our output is directly proportional to how much energy we use. So if you are doing a lot, if you're producing a lot, if you are achieving a lot, you're using a lot of energy. Pure and simple. So we are not trying to say because we want to manage energy effectively, you should use less energy overall. No. We are talking about energy performance. Energy performance refers to a metric that defines energy use per output, energy use per energy load driver, right? So those are the kind of things we're talking about. And then we also want to focus on the environmental impact of energy, because energy is sourced from both fossil and renewable sources. The fossil energy sources are the ones that deplete natural resources and also degrade the environment, and we want to be careful how much of those we use. We can't do without it right now. For example, we're transitioning from all of this dependence on crude to a lot more focus on gas, and at some point we will probably move into more sustainable options like hydro dams and nuclear and vegetable sources of energy. Now, So what should our focus be? So the first item, better use less, not use less overall, use less per output, per driver. All right. So if I have a mall and I'm measuring my energy use, if the visitors to my shopping mall is increasing, which means we are making more sales, then I should use more energy. But when I'm tracking, what I'm working on as an FM is not to curtail total energy use, but to curtail energy use per footfall, per person into shop, right? So how do I manage that? I have to have energy, I have to know my output, which is the people who use the building and those who visit the building, right? I want to look at the sources of energy so that I can focus more on renewable than the fossil ones. Use energy in a more socially and environmentally responsible manner. Understand facility energy consumption and purchasing. Improve energy efficiency of your core building system. We'll talk about this in a bit. Optimize facility energy use. Involve occupants in energy initiatives. You cannot control all energy losses in facilities. People that use it directly on a day-to-day basis need to be involved. And then we'll talk about heating and cooling loads. We'll talk about core building systems, your HVAC, electrical, plumbing systems, and all the other systems in your buildings. Now, so there are many energy saving options, right? For people who have been involved in energy efficiency, you will have come across ideas around energy lighting systems, reducing the energy, the lighting systems, variable speed drives for your air conditioning system, and sometimes for your motors, like pumps and the rest. Building controls, building management system, that gives you visibility to how energy is being used. Intelligent lighting solutions like motion sensors and others that are built in to help you automatically put up lights when people are not there. Power management solutions, supply voltage optimization, combined heat and power for generation, where you use some of the heat that's produced from your generators to generate energy again, and so on and so forth. But your starting point, your number one energy saving opportunity is in what we call energy monitoring. You cannot begin to talk about energy efficiency, energy management, when you don't have visibility into how energy is being used. So that's number one. And these have been supported by several reports by large corporations doing research into how we use energy. Energy that is produced and wasted right now is almost 40%. And that will be higher for a country like ours, where we have very little in terms of detailed or disaggregated monitoring of our energy use. Many of us know what is being used at the facility level, the whole building, or maybe at the floor level. We have that bill or that reading that we go take. Some of us even have check meters, and we say we looked at the check meters. But your energy use, you need to understand how it is used from time to time, by equipment, by space, by user in your facility. That will give you the highest savings opportunity efficiency. It helps you change your plant behavior. It helps you pick out areas where there's invisible energy waste. It helps you to tune building control. So when you have certain building systems that are probably overproducing or overworking or working into times when nobody's in there, you can see that from the energy use pattern. Optimize existing equipment. Sometimes your equipment requires retooling, retrofitting, certain maintenance. And if you've not done them, the equipment begins to draw more energy to just stay running. So optimizing your existing equipment, verifying new technologies. So whenever you're going to switch from fluorescent or halogen, for example, to LED lights, you need to have a means of monitoring that circuit, so that you can say this is what it was reading or consuming before I switched, not just using the nameplate rating to make those calculations. You cannot make those from looking at the nameplate ratings. Automating meter readings, so being able to know exactly how much bills should go to which person or customer, or even just being able to pick in all the data related to how energy is being used for air conditioning, for lighting, for for pumping, for all the things you do in the facility. It's very important that you have a sub-metering system. And nowadays we no longer depend on bulk check meters. We have IoT sensors, Internet of Things sensors that can be installed just at your panel, little logs that are attached to the cables or fuses to read the energy that is running through them, and you can have them presented to you in an app or a software or a web interface where you can see real time. It is 1:15 in the afternoon. I can check to see if the chiller unit in a certain conference room or event hall.
My name is, I'm an architect by profession, and I practiced architecture for many years, but I needed to stay back home to take care of my kids for a while. And after that, I needed to bounce back into career. And I thought of picking up what I could do to boost myself. And then I picked up the FM diploma program. I did that, and it helped me to achieve a career leap, in the sense that I was able to secure a job as a facility manager to manage an aspect of the Oshodi bus terminal. And it has helped me. The program helped me to learn the essence of proactivity. It helps me to be proactive, to be able to work with my team members. Now, this is a program that is open to anybody from any field. Once you do this program, this facility management diploma program, you'll be taught, you'll be well trained, well taught how to be able to function as a facility manager. This is a program I advise anybody to come into. I will advise you to pick up this program, and you will learn from it. To be well groomed, you will learn a lot, that when you come into managing a facility, you will flow easily. It will just be easy. So you learn how to be prepared in case of emergencies. You learn how to do your maintenance plans. You learn about health, about safety and security. You learn how to do your facility condition assessment, also to make your assets register. So please register for this program and you will not regret it. Thank you.
I am a facility manager. Are you an aspiring facility manager, or you are already one, and you desire to have a robust knowledge in FM practices? The Max-Migold Nigeria Limited is the plug. Since I got introduced to Max-Migold 3 years ago, I have been doing fantastically well in my FM practices. I can assure you that you will not regret partnering with Max-Migold. They are simply the best. For enquiry, please visit www.maxmigold.com. You'll be glad you did. Thank you.
Everyone, my name is Hajia Zainab Saleh, and I'm the Managing Director of Brains and Hammers Facility Management Limited and White Oak Management Services Limited. Both are facilities management companies. Not too long ago, I decided to enroll my staff in a masterclass program organized by Max-Migold Limited. For some of us that are not aware, Max-Migold Limited is a physical facilities management, training, inspection, advisory firm. Not too long ago, to put my staff through a training program under Max-Migold. And I can assure you that it was worth it. Why do I say that? What value has it brought to me? Or what value has it brought to my staff and to the organization generally? I can assure you there was a change. Why do I say that?
Hello, everyone. Hi, my name is Uzamaka Okunu. Yeah, so little he The way he blew a lot of topics up was mind-blowing, and I got a lot. Like, in fact, I'll change my ways in what I'm doing right now. I'm a facility manager in a company, in a hospital actually, but my ways, everything I'm going to, I really gained, how will I put it now? Especially the part of that, the part of managing your subordinates. In fact, there are a lot of work I'm going to put in, and he's really been an inspiration to the little I know and all that. I think continuous improvement is just one of the things I really got from it. So we have to improve ourselves more and get better. Thank you.
Hello, from Cross River State, Calabar, to attend this very training, and it's so mind-blowing. I learned so much. Facility management has really been something I've been passionate about. I really want to know more, but sometimes you see facility management training course 400,000, 700,000, people just get to run away. When I saw okay, this is like that, I keyed into it and came here. It's so interesting. The speaker, the facilitator, Mr. Paul, there's so much insight in to give, and I'm so happy I attended this program. I look forward to the Mastercraft program. It's so wonderful. I cannot wait for that program. I'm very sure I'll be there, and I'm going to spread the news everywhere that Max-Migold is a company, is a force in the facility movement age to be reckoned with. Thank you, Mr. Paul. Thank you, Max-Migold. Thank you, Notori. Thank you.
So, how do you decide the cost of a service to someone? There's what we call the direct costs and the indirect costs. Of those three types of costs we talked about, they can be both direct and indirect. Direct costs are the ones that can be specifically traced to the item or activity, and they can be easily and accurately traced to a cost object. That means the cost driver. So whether it is fixed, whether it is variable, whether it is semi-variable or mixed cost, it can be calculated precisely regarding that activity. So if I take a cleaning service, for example, direct cost of cleaning will include all the materials used. Those are variable cost line items. The salary of the cleaner that cleans, that's a fixed cost line item. And other costs that I can calculate. So the equipment that we use, those equipment will be cost items, but they are used directly for that cleaning. Those are direct costs. Indirect costs spread costs over a period of time, regardless of specific activities. These costs are related to a cost object, but not directly or solely associated with that item or activity. So indirect costs are the costs that are spread out over a period. They are related to the activity, but not directly. If I had a health and safety officer in the organization, for example, who is in charge of supervising or inspecting and monitoring safety amongst the maintenance crew as well as the cleaning crew. That's cost of that health and safety officer, for example, is not a direct cost to cleaning. Okay, it is an indirect cost to cleaning. Things I provide for the organization, like insurance premium that I pay, utility costs. For example, the cleaners will need lights to see. I mean, I cannot, directly say this, this is what cost of the light or electricity that we use that is used for cleaning, right? So indirect costs, they have that you will learn on how to deal with indirect. Direct costs are straightforward. Indirect costs are the ones that you now really need. The basis of all we're going to be looking at in this class. This idea of how to share indirect costs. If I'm providing services in an estate, the direct costs are pretty straightforward. You pay for your internal spaces, whatever care I do for you, your internal spaces, which is straightforward, pretty straightforward. But when it comes to the indirect, which is the cost, your share of the common area usage, for example, then all kinds of bells and whistles go up. We need to find some means of, equitably sharing those costs. And I'm making that the basis of today's presentation and the highlight of our discussion.
I'm to John by name.
To be certified facility manager.
At Max-Migold Limited, we help organizations who are in need of professional facility managers to get this job. We help
software such as
You can also do for 9 months. Wow!
Refer innovations, refer construction, and media outsourcing projects to client.
our software are tailored in such a way to suit the uniqueness of each organization or building.
We connect our clients with the best qualified candidates available in the market.
Our certificate is certified, and you can use it in Nigeria as a certified facility manager.
We offer a range of tools to suit the needs of organizations through providing valuable information about their facilities' performance, and in the long term, help them justify budget, reduce operating costs, negotiate successfully with vendors, and improve work processes.
We connect professional.
Help them justify budget, reduce operating costs, negotiate successfully with vendors, and
Salary benchmarking.
This helps organizations, building owners, reduce costs on strategic planning and management, operations and maintenance, and enable staff to work more effectively.
Like in our stores, significantly damage and install. Save it for the facilities of the fire. Do all your experiments.
So when you give us a call today to help you find out the perfect person to do your job in your organization,
Think facility management, call Max-Migold Limited.
Okay, so I'll be sharing with us facility management as a career of choice in the built environment. Okay, so let's move straight to slide 3. Okay, so as we all know, facilities management. This one now. Okay, as we all know, facility management is a key function of any organization that ensures the comfort, functionality, and safety of the organization premises to create a conducive working environment for everyone. Now, when you talk about facilities management, there are keywords to actually note. And from this introduction, we all can see that comfort, functionality, and safety are of eminence in this introduction. So if you're a facility manager or you want to become a facility manager, this cardinal point must be at the back of your mind at kick-off so you can perform very well at the end of the day. So where do we have facility managers? Facility managers are individuals who work in a variety of settings, including commercial locations and the likes of spa, universities, residential complexes, hospitals, and other locations. So, what are the functions of facilities management? We must know that we have hard facilities management and soft facilities management. Hard facility management addresses the physical buildings, critical systems, such as lighting, electrical, and fire. Important thing that we must note when it comes to hard facility management. This borders largely on following laws and regulations for building requirements. Anytime it occurs to you to say, oh, what exactly do we do when it comes to Art FM, what should come to your mind is following laws or statutory laws and regulations as it affects building requirements. Soft facility management, on the other hand, addresses elements such as visual or aesthetic comfort, the likes of landscaping and interior decoration. Those are the things under soft FM. Now, let's move straight to the importance of facilities management. When it comes to legal compliance, if the government or any of their representative is to visit any office, be it one of those things is to check your legal compliance. And this borders on ensuring that the workplace or the commercial facility meets certain legal requirements. This is the purview of a typical facility manager. Workplace productivity, as it affects the productivity of staffs, is another thing that falls under the importance of facilities management. Customer appeal. Facility managers ensure that the location, exterior, and interior are clean. I mean, everybody wants to come to a very clean environment. Everybody wants to work in a clean environment. If the ambience is not receptible enough, no one will want to work there. No one will want to visit. Operating cost reduction is another thing that facility management takes care of. As a facility manager, we are the ones saddled with project management. Yes, there are organizations where we have project management as a separate function. But I tell you, as you start the facility management journey, there are a few projects that you are expected to carry out. There are a few projects you are expected to handle. So it is your place, your presence in the organization that will help to reduce cost. We are to contain costs as facilities managers. Now let's look at a typical facility manager. If you are here at this moment and you want to be able to score yourself, to be able to say, oh, am I doing well? These are some of the things, these are some of the traits you should have. So a facility manager is the one who is actually in charge of the system maintenance. He coordinates this with other team members like the technicians or probably subcontractors or external vendors. And apart from that, you also handle fire and building inspection. Of course, on getting to work in the morning, You are expected to conduct a walkthrough as a facility manager. This is also part of your portfolio. Facility manager is in charge of landscaping. A facility manager is in charge of custodial and pest control services, as well as security, waste management, and facility improvements and facility expansion. There are times that the management may call on you as a facility manager to say, "Oh, can you give us advice? Can you give us advice as to how we are to manage the space we have?" I tell you, it is the onus is on you as a facility manager to demonstrate key competencies, giving the management what to do in terms of infrastructural upgrade or revamps. Now, let us look at the typical skills that are expected of a facility manager. Communication is number one. As a facility manager, we are expected to turn in reports, say weekly, in some places, monthly. The ability for you to be able to communicate well with your line and other stakeholders is very germane. Leadership is another important skill that we are expected to possess as facility managers. Problem solving. We are not expected to panic at the instance of challenges at our sites. But what do? We are training, trainings such as the one we are having at the moment, program us or prepare us ahead to handle challenges as they arise. Dexterity, the ability for you to be able to manage any situation, whatever happens. You may be at home and someone just gives you a call to say, "Oh, something is happening." The ability for you to be able to improvise and provide solution, tangible solution that will help the organization or the estate you are representing is very key. Technology. We are in 21st century. Technology, we are all expected to be technologically driven, to know what is obtainable in terms of building components, to also know what we can deploy to our site to help optimize the functionality of our facility. Troubleshooting. Sometimes you may need to call in one or two persons who will troubleshoot. Maybe your HVAC just broke down, and of course, the PPM schedule is in place, and you're wondering why that is happening. You're not supposed to panic at that point. What you're supposed to do is just to bring one or two persons to your line or to other persons to say, "Oh, this is what we have done, and from our troubleshooting, this is our conclusion." Financial management. All facility managers are expected to be prudent when it comes to finance. If you are not able to contain costs in your sites, you may be shocked that at the end of the day, when your clients, probably the people who are engaging you, comes to you to say, "Oh, how have you been able to save costs for us?" I believe to be able to handle this is germane for anyone who wants to become a facility manager. Design and ergonomics. We are expected to be up to date as facility managers to know what is obtainable today in terms of helping our staffs, how to manage their space, how to make sure that while they are at work, they are productive. In some offices, certain devices have been actually wired to make sure that at interval of 1 hour, people go around, or at interval of 1 hour, when people sit beyond the time they are expected to sit on their chair, we start hearing a buzz sound to make them go around. So these are some of the things we can actually deploy, but we will only be able to do that if we know the right thing. Energy efficiency. This is a huge problem in the sector at the moment. People who release funds, stakeholders are asking questions. For everyone who bring in facility managers into their space, they want to be sure that at the end of the day, their energy consumption is being managed efficiently, in an efficient manner. Project management. Ability for us to manage projects effectively and deliver as when planned is very, very key for facility managers. When project starts, it's not as much as you are willing to start a project, it's also very important to have good closure. Ability to have good closure and to be able to report gaps in your project is key as a facility manager. Now, from what we have been talking about, where do you acquire this skill? Consider the Mastercraft Diploma program. For anyone who wants to become a facility manager in Nigeria or in Africa, I will gladly recommend Max-Migold. I started at the University of Lagos at the master in facility level. But then when I came in for the program, I saw the difference. And I said to myself, oh, if I'd known, I would have come in for this program. But then there's no regrets. So the Mastercraft Diploma program is the way to go for anyone who wants to practice facilities management today. You in the course of this facilitation, I'll be sharing with us some of the reasons, the benefits inherent to attending Max-Migold. But then we must know this. So why Max-Migold? Max-Migold is the bespoke for well-trained FM facility managers in Nigeria. Do not take our word for it. Ask around for yourself. Do you know that today, if you need to benchmark to say, oh, where do I start my journey? Ask around today. Everyone around will tell you that Max-Migold is the place to go to. Of course, Max-Migold has earned a place for excellence and professionalism in delivering best practice. We all know that. Max-Migold is also reputably applauded for our consistency and global competitiveness. We all know what happened in December. We all here in December. We saw some dignitaries from the state governments, from the federal. SON, those are the representatives of the federal government. If these people can come around at this critical time, that means that Max-Migold is doing. Max-Migold graduates are sought after for employment opportunities. If you are able to conduct a statistics today to say, out of every 10 persons who attend interviews, I can assure you that the moment someone from Max-Migold shows up, they're going to drop every other CVs to attend to those that came through Max-Migold. Why? Because of the trainings these individuals have undergone while they were with Max-Migold. And that's a plus for Max-Migold as an organization. Again, Max-Migold's trainings are customized to address emerging challenges in the workplace, as the syllabus covers practical and thus peculiar to today's challenges. There is a difference between going online to acquire training or certifications and acquiring trainings that will help you solve immediate problems. The syllabus in Max-Migold is tailored towards helping FM practitioners to resolving immediate problems. I'm talking about tangible solutions where your organization will say, oh, thank God this guy went through this training. Again, timeless and robust networking opportunities are available for students and members through the Mastercraft Alumni Platform and Association. We all know this. Just today, in the early hour of today, I was going through the platform and I saw a few write-ups from some persons. They dropped those stuff on the platform and they were asking questions. In about a few minutes to that time, some persons provided the answers. And the guy who dropped the question was very, very happy that he had a timely resolve. These are some of the benefits we get from joining the association. So you imagine, Max-Migold put you through the training, gets you certified, also offer mentorship, and also put you on a platform where you can continue to learn for life. I mean, that is amazing. So what are the other ways through which we can enrich ourselves as facility managers? Gain professional experience. It is very, very vital that after leaving Max-Migold, whatever opportunity that comes your way, either as an intern or as an assistant facility manager or as facility officer, please leverage on it to learn the process. It is one thing to get a certificate. It's another thing to have professional experience. Someday, somehow, the professional experience you have gathered while doing this little work here and there will catapult you to your rightful place in destiny. Then the other thing we need to also learn today is while you are on the job, at whatever position you may be today, after learning from Max-Migold, make sure that you harness the opportunities that come through learning facility management core competence and also earning a certification. Now, if you look at the order, it is one thing to be trained at Max-Migold, which I recommended as the first step. The second step is to get professional experience. Just get a job in the built environment as a facility officer or facility manager. The third thing is while you're on that job, this is very critical for us people. While you're on that job, get materials on the core competencies of FM. Go through these materials, maybe for 6 months. Learn them, learn the antics, get the secrets. When you're able to do this, then you can now enroll for the certification. At that time, you would have been exposed to all that you need to know, and before you know what, you'll become a guru. Of course, join a professional organization. We have the IWFM, IFM, the AFPM, the Mastercraft Association. These are some of the associations available for us to harness. And of course, you may want to consider a degree, an MBA or a master degree in facilities management to prove to your company or your boss that you know what you are doing. FM prospects in facilities, career prospects in facilities management. So let me just quickly rush through this. The opportunity is so robust that we have 10 discipline choices to make from. It's either you are in the janitorial or landscaping, the building system, daily operation, health and safety, space management, transportation, building security, fire prevention, production continuity. You can harness any of these opportunities as a facility manager. All you need to do is just to ask yourself today, where is my strength? Where can I harness my strengths? Where can I be better? I believe that as we spend more time on training, as you participate actively in the association activities, and you improve yourself, you become better at what you do. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please let's spend.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Joseph. That was insightful. That was fantastic. We'll move. Okay, so we'll move over to our second guest speaker. That is Mr. Tosin Adenjowo. Mr. Tosin Adenjowo is a seasoned project and facilities lead at MTN Nigerian Communications PLC, with over 16 years of professional experience in projects and facilities management. In the past, while working at First Bank Nigerian PLC as a general service manager, he was responsible for the project and facilities management of the bank's new branch, deployment and facilitating projects across several locations in northeastern part of Nigeria, using the cradle to the grave framework. Currently, He manages a sizable footprint of MTN's infrastructure in Lagos and West Region under an operating model with third-party contractors in the maintenance units. Okay, so it's my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. Let's welcome Mr. Tosin.
All right, super. Thank you so much. Thank you. Just to confirm, can you?
Hello.
Yes, we can.
Hello, can you hear me?
Sure. Yes.
Of course we can.
Please check
Can hear you.
your audio, Mr. Tosin. You're muted.
Oh, can you hear me now? Hello.
Sorry,
Sorry
Mr.
about that.
Tosin, before you start, I need to make an announcement to the class. Hello, everybody. Please.
Yes, sir. Can hear you.
Oh, please, we cannot hear you.
On mute your system. On mute. We can't hear you. On mute.
Sir, we can't
Hello?
hear you. Audio is muted.
Hello.
Should I proceed, please?
No, hold on, Mr.
Yes, go ahead. We can hear you now.
Okay, we can go ahead. We can hear you now.
Hello, Mr. Tosin, just hold on. Let me finish this announcement. I've had to instruct the team to remove anyone who cannot stay muted. If for any reason you cannot stay muted, you will be removed from this class, please. Just go.
You are saying no, we can't hear you.
Okay. Now you're good now.
As it is like this, am I muted? That's what I'm just.
All right. Thank you very much. Please, let's all mute our mics. Please, we're all respected professionals. Let's all mute our mic, please. Okay. Thank you very much once again for the opportunity. I really want Yes, please. Can you hear me? All right, I believe so. Yes, I just want to appreciate Mr. Paul for the opportunity granted onto.
I think somebody is muting everybody at once.
Okay. Okay. Please, let's all mute our mics. It's the easiest thing to do. Please. All right.
Please, sir, can you mute it from your office?
Okay. Now, very quickly, I'll be talking about FM.
So as it is, we FTE salary is done by Mr. Nelson. So yes, we have new inputs from different locations. So multiple times they give pay inputs. That pay input.
Hello, we are not hearing anything from this end, and it's just like people are talking from their mics anyhow. I think somebody should be able to control this thing now. I can hear you, but as soon as I speak, I don't know what happens. I'm muted. Please, it's an appeal. I'm pleading with us. Let's just mute our mic. Please, and please, so that we just make progress and move on. It's actually very unprofessional to be disrupting such presentations. Please, I'm appealing. Thank you very much. All right. So thank you, Mr. Paul, for the opportunity and for the great work you are doing through Max-Migold. I see Max-Migold as an FM recruitment powerhouse, and I'm very, very optimistic that the great things that you are doing will surely bear fruit in the days to come. I also want to appreciate every fellow FM professional on this call for the great work you are doing, the impact, and making the real difference in the workspace. Your work is not going unnoticed, and we salute your courage. We salute your ability to change the narrative in the built environment through your competence and through your expertise. And also for the incoming FMs, I just want to congratulate you. You're actually at the right place at the right time. And I also want to congratulate you on taking this step of towards a fulfilling career. A FM is a very fulfilling career because it affords you the opportunity to create impact in the workspace. I don't know, can you see, or will someone share my slide, or you can see my slide? I don't know if I should share, or Ms. Barakat, if you could share my slide.
We can't see your slide, sir. Please go ahead to share.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me do that. Thank you. All right. Can you see my slide?
Zero. I don't see anything.
Yes, sir. It's good.
All right.
Yes, you can see now.
So, facilities management as a career of choice. Thank you, Mr. Joseph, for bringing context to Thank you, Mr. Joseph, for bringing context to the presentation that you earlier presented. You're able to do a deep. All right. I cannot share my slide again. I think, Barakat, will you want to help me do that? It has been grayed out. Please help. All right. So while the slides are coming up, I also want us to I also want us to know something very important about facilities management, in addition to what Mr. Joseph has been able to share. You know, the first slide speaks about the World Economic Forum. There was an outlook, a World Economic Outlook concerning jobs. That was even before the COVID came. You know, they were able to profile all the various careers and skills, divided it into declining skills and into two skills, those that are declining and those that are upcoming. And if you Google it or you search it out, you'll discover that things that are manual, things that will require human intervention, things like maybe Excel, things like maybe fixing things, plumbing, hardcore jobs that require a lot of hands-on. As important as it is, the World Economic Forum is saying those kind of skills are gradually declining. And that means that it's very important for us to begin to think of how we can leverage on technology, how we can leverage on the vast resources available on the internet, collaborating with people, and knowing what is future fitting. And my discussion this evening is to sort of like shake your mind or give you another dimension or another angle to the way FM has been evolving since the COVID era. We all know that COVID came as a rude shock to the entire world, and that in itself, as many companies began to nosedive because they were not prepared, other companies began to revise their operating model and began to think of how they can do things better with limited resources, how they can be more effective, how they can be more efficient, how they can ensure that, okay, thank you, how they can ensure that with the lean resources, they are able to still achieve their overall objective, their bottom line, their overall strategy, and still ensure that there is a win-win. They ensure a win-win, a tripartite win. That's what I call it, a win for the environment, a win for the customer, and a win for the organization. Next slide, please. If you could help. So my job this evening is to put us on a paradigm shift. We must evolve in our thinking. We must be very, okay, this is the slide I was talking about. Can you put it in presentation mode so that I just speak to this in 5 seconds? If you can help in presentation mode, if everybody can see it. Thank you. But if not, okay, great. So you could see declining by your right and growing by your left. This was in 2018, and the forecast was for 2022. Now you could see under declining manual dexterity, endurance, precision, memory, verbal, auditory, and spatial abilities. Let's even look at number 6, management of personnel. Let's even look at number 10, technology use, monitoring and control. Let's even look at number 7, quality control and safety awareness. Yeah, you might argue with me that these are developed countries and we in Africa, we are a developing continent. So this may not catch up with us as those developing countries. Yes, you are correct. But for you to be able to play in the Nigerian space, in the African space, and in the global space, you must be able to have a mix. You must be able to mix your skills. You must be able to adapt your skills for what is peculiar to our Nigerian African context. And you must also be able to upscale yourself and be able to ensure that you are still fit for purpose when you are brought forward on the global arena. And that is what education is all about. You learn, you relearn, and you unlearn. Now, at the left-hand side of this slide, you talk about growing skills. This was even before COVID. So COVID even fast-tracked the realization of all these things. You see analytical thinking and innovation, active learning and learning strategies. Number 3, creativity, originality, and initiative, querying the status quo, changing things that have been institutional in the workspace, but ensuring that what you are bringing as a change always provides alignment to the overall strategic objective of the organization and also delivers on the KPI set out by you. We must begin to apply our minds, apply ourselves in bringing solution. And we talked about number 7, leadership and social influence. You know, facilities management works in an ecosystem of people, process, technology, and place. And to me, the critical success factor among all those touch points remain the people element. You deal with people, you interact with people, you understand people, you must learn interpersonal skills of persuasion, of communication, of problem solving. You must be willing, you must be able to dialogue, you must be able to persuade, you must be able to carry your people along. As Joseph said earlier on communication skills, it's critical, the hard and soft skills are extremely important in making maximum impact in the world of work. Next slide. I don't want to dwell too long on this slide. Next slide, please. I will be spending some time on the next slide. All right. So the main purpose of FM, to me, in my all years of experience, and I'm still also growing in the space, I believe that 3 things stand out. 3 things stand out as an FM. And among the 3, your ability to solve problems. Your ability to solve problems. Remember, you're an enabler to the core business. You are there to ensure that you provide support, you provide solutions, and you allow the organization to focus on their core. If it's in telecoms, for example, their core is on network infrastructure. Every other thing apart from HR and IT, I think falls on the purview of the FM. If you are in manufacturing, if you are in the FM assigned in the manufacturing industry, you must ensure that your job brings comfort, brings such a level of heightened productivity that staff are not, and management are not distracted by the quote and unquote the daily operations of things, and they are assigning with the task of ensuring that things happen and things run, and they focus on their core. So it's important that we have this idea that our major point of impact are the people. Remember also in our performance management framework, you have your KPI, you have your SL. KPI means key performance indicators. SLA means service level agreements. And you have your CSIs, which are your customer satisfaction index. And you know, among the trio, your CSI is extremely important. I think it carries the heaviest weight. So the perception of your clients towards you, towards what you do, is heavyweight. It's critical, and you must ensure that you're always aligned to the overall strategy of the organization. Just don't go in and say you want to reinvent the wheel without taking a cue from the overall strategy of the organization. And I also want us to understand that we are responsible in ensuring that we provide functionality, comfort, safety, sustainability, and efficiency of the built environment. You know, it's important, it's a huge work, and that is why as an FM, you are about people. You cannot do the job alone, especially if you're managing if your spread of influence is among a lot of locations. You must be able to work with a team. You must be able to build your team. You must be able to impart knowledge, mentor your team, grow your team to a point where, you know, they always say that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. That's a lot of synergy, where all of you working together as a unit are able to leverage on each other's strengths and weaknesses, complement one another, and deliver massive dividends of FM in the workspace. Now, what is the market size of FM globally and in Africa? This is a very interesting report I got on the internet. Now, the global FM market size is valued about $1.26 trillion. That's in 2022. And the market is projected to grow from 1.3 trillion to about 2 trillion by 2030, exhibiting a compound annual growth rate of 6.7. So what this simply means, CAGR is actually an index they use to determine how an industry or a career or whatever they are measuring grows year on year. So for example, if you are saying that the telecom sector is projected to have a cumulative annual growth rate of 10%, it means that if they're able to record 10 billion this year, 10% of 10 billion is 1 billion. So for next year, it will be 11 billion. And 10% of 11 billion is 1.1. For the upper year, it will be 12.1 billion. So you are adding a 10%. That's if the CAGR is attributed to be 10%, you're having a 10% year-on-year increment. And this 6.7 is actually a huge increment. And that is why we see that in the global space, this is a huge market for us to tap into, a huge market for us to showcase ourselves. And there is always an eternal law that reads, you cannot give what you do not have. That is why the Max-Migold platform is an opportunity for you to be able to ensure that you are growing in your KSA, your knowledge, your skills, and your abilities. You develop capabilities to be able to move beyond the Nigerian jurisdiction to the African jurisdiction and even conquer in the global space. We must begin to think in that light. Now, the African FM market is expected to grow from about 26 billion in 2023 to 34 just in a space of 5 years, with a CAGR of 6.06% during the forecast period of 5 years. This is also extremely huge, and it calls for attention. Now, Mr. Joseph was able to bring about all the various areas in FM where we can specialize in based on our areas of strength. Yeah, but I will prefer you stretch yourself and become a jack of all trade and a master of all, as Mr. Paul normally alludes to, that you become a jack of all trade and a master of all. You know, the truth is this: what learning does to you, it stretches you to a point where you now become like a body of knowledge. You now become someone who people can always refer to. You now become a solution provider. You now become somebody like a go-to person. You can now become a reference point. And that in itself is something that we must aspire to. You know, there's a book I'm reading by Anthony Robbins called Awaken the Giant Within. I'm just trying to understand some certain things in my own personal space, and I just expose myself to that truth. And that Anthony Robbins, he was somebody at the age of, in his early 20s. In school, he was called the solution man. And in other words, lecturers, teachers, friends, students were coming to him for consultation on problem solving, on generic problem solving. And he was so good at the age of 23. And how did he get to that level? He was somebody who was very aggressive in learning, in relearning, and in unlearning. And the way COVID has helped, I'll use that word, helped the entire world, is that nobody is allowed to sit on his oars. We must always keep ourselves on the treadmill of understand planning, delegating, and problem solving in critical situations. You must not be caught unawares. Even if things happen in your space, you must not be found panicking. You must be able to have what we call emotional intelligence. You must be able to comport yourself. You must be able to calm people even when there appears to be in a panic mode. You must be able to have resilience. You must be able to have emotional balance. You must be able to comport yourself and communicate to both your team, to your stakeholders, your clients, your customers in a way that people know what you are saying and what you are doing, and not just beating around the bush. Because of time, I'll just quickly move to the last. Okay, why choose FM as a career? Yeah, I mentioned it earlier on that you are in a real position to positively impact lives daily. This is, to me, is a game changer. Anytime I come to the office space and people can always thank me, I say, thank you, Tosi, for what you did yesterday. Thank you, this issue was resolved. Thank you. In fact, it brings joy to my heart that, wow, I'm impacting lives in my own little space. And there's really nothing, that is strong testament to the fact that you are somebody who can thrive in this profession. Then the CRE landscape is changing. This CRE actually means commercial real estate is changing. Well, the growing companies now are trying to do more with less, as I've mentioned earlier on. And here the FM is saddled with the responsibility to constantly deliver value. If you're not delivering value, you have no business in this profession. And by value, I mean that every naira and kobo, or every dollar and cents that is being, whether by means of budget sent to you or in terms of salaries that are being paid to you, you must be able to, short companies must derive value from your life, from your work ethics, from the way you impact the workspace, and the way you manage budget and deliver quality based on the funds given to you. Examples of things in the commercial real estate that we must take note of is cost containment strategies. In fact, that is on the top burner of many strategic campaigns in organization. How can we deploy what we call value creation? You increase revenue, you reduce expenditure, and you optimize your processes. You must be able to think on your feet and come up with bespoke solutions that will be able to do that. So cost containment strategies, space optimizations, quote and unquote, it is almost criminal. It's almost criminal for you to have space, unutilized space in prime locations in Nigeria that are just kept there, cobwebs, you're just cleaning and you are not utilizing those space. Either by means of lease or whatever you need to do, it is almost criminal. It's almost an offense for you to have redundancies, space redundancies scattered all over your facilities without using them. And this is an opportunity. If you have in your locations, you must begin to see how such spaces can generate revenue. You know, they always see FM as cost center, cost center, cost center. Maybe that's why we don't really have so much strong presence in the C-suite. But by the time you begin to come up with initiatives that can be revenue generating and add to the bottom line of the business, you will be a person to be reckoned with, because management understands bottom line, EBITDA, profit, revenue, top line, bottom line. So it's very important we think along these lines. The workspace is expanding, yes, with what we call distributed teams or virtual teams. COVID has just rocked the boat and has placed the boys from the men, separated the boys from the men, and has outlined a trajectory for each individual to each pack to follow. If it's the boys, keep doing the old things and they phase out over time. If it is the men, they keep innovating on the go in real time and coming up with solutions that will meet the needs of the customer. So distributed teams, digital workspaces, flexi work, all these have now become the new normal following COVID. So the workspace is expanding, and we must lead the frontier of this change. We must be people who are able to provide such value and solutions in such spaces. Now, lastly, on data. Data is so king. Data is king, in fact. In the world of decision making, data is king. And now people are beginning to come up with data and say that you must be able to provide reasons why we're doing this and we're doing that and we're doing this and what you are doing that. So as a facility manager, you must be data tolerant, not data averse. You must be able to project, you must be able to forecast, you must be able to extrapolate, you must be able to, there's what we call the DMAIC model. What you cannot define, you cannot measure. What you cannot measure, you cannot analyze. What you cannot analyze, you cannot improve upon. And what you cannot improve upon, you cannot control. Data is king. You can, quote and unquote, twist the hand of your CEO, quote and unquote, with such empirical data that is so convincing that you can even change his mind by telling a story based on the data you have. And we must be found proficient in the use of data. Next slide, please. Okay, yeah, this is a pattern statement from Catherine Schwartz, a demand generation specialist. She's someone who is a thought leader in the FM space, and this is her remark. She said, not only is it a career field that's growing and in demand, but it's also one many people find challenging in a good way. There is nothing like going to work and appreciating what you do every day. For many FMs, their career is in the perfect combination of challenge, routine, earning potential, and excitement. What a wonderful mix. So I welcome you to the world of facility management, and I trust that we will take the bar higher and begin to change the narrative at scale in our various places. Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tosin. That was insightful. Okay, so quickly, we're running out of time. We'll quickly hear testimonials from Olayemi Kasali, who speak to us for just 2 minutes. And after him, we'll have Ayola Olagunju also speak to us for 2 minutes. Mr. Kasali, please go on.
Let somebody check if Mr. Kasali's audio and video are permitted, please.
Okay, we're working on that now.
Thank you so much. I think the video has not come up. Okay. Okay, are you able to see me? I'm not.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead. We can see you. And
Okay.
we can hear you.
Because somehow I can't see myself. So if I'm not okay, well, I want to first thank Mr. Paul for giving me this opportunity to be part of this presentation. Mine are not going to do much of presentation today in terms of I don't even have slides to present. So because I just want to speak from my experience with him and more or less like a testimony as was earlier mentioned. And the previous presenters before me have actually dealt with many things I would have loved to say, especially Mr. Tosin. I think, Mr. Tosin. Thank you so much. You have done a lot of good, presented a lot of information. It was a fantastic one. And I want to congratulate every one of us that are here today. For you to be here and be listening to this presentation, being part of this program, I want to say congratulations to you. And why am I saying that? It's because you have access to be able to learn from people that have gone through the thick and thin, to learn from their own, from the scratch. And you are just coming on I would call it a soft pedal level. By having a mentor, someone that can take you through all that is required in FM for you, so that you will start not from the how do I call it, starting from the scratch like some of us did, that you have to learn everything from trial and error, by mistake, reading on your own. So you are coming to a community of FM that will give you everything that you require to be able to have a good footing and to be able to do your work in such a way that you have access to virtually everything you need in FM. And so you are tapping into experiences of people that have actually gone through a lot of research and that are well grounded in FM, so that you don't make mistake that some of us did. I will put it this way, my own testimony. I've been searching for a lot of knowledge. I was trying to build up myself in FM, and then it led me to seeking more knowledge, to the extent that I was in Texas, in the US, and in the year 2017, I was trying to gain more knowledge and then have more exposure in FM. I spent a lot of all of my savings to be able to do that. And then I was trying to, I met one Mr. Johnny Viken. He was our facilitator for CFM, that is Certified Facility Managers training, so that I can take the exam. And after the exam, I went to meet the man. I told him, I said, Mr. Viken, Mr. Johnny, will you offer to be my mentor so that you can take me through this journey of FM, so that I can become as good as you are? And Mr. Viken told me something that was shocking to me, very shocking. So he asked me, from which country did you come? I said, I came from Nigeria. He said, you came from Nigeria. So he said, when I get back home, I should look for one Mr. Paul Erubami. I said, Mr. Paul Erubami, I've heard about that name. I've even been invited to join the training, like you are being invited now. But I thought maybe if I get to US, I'm going to get something much better. So Mr. Viken told me, go back to Nigeria, go and meet Mr. Paul Erubami. He will mentor you and he will give you all that you need. So when I came back to Nigeria,
sir, please try and round up. We're out of time, please.
Okay. So in order to shorten, to make the whole story, long story, it was a long story, to shorten it. So Mr. Paul, eventually I joined, just like you joined, and I learned a lot about FM, and I regretted not joining earlier, because initially I missed an opportunity of a very an opportunity from a US company that wanted to have employed me. So after the whole process of recruitment, I was told that I was not chosen eventually. But I came second among all the candidates that were interviewed. And why was that? When I got to Max-Migold, I realized where my error was, my mistake was, and I vowed that I was going to make a difference. Today, as I'm speaking to you, I'm in the UK, and I've been employed by West Yorkshire Combined Authority as an FM, because I was able to bring in everything that I've both gained from a practical experience and that I've learned from Max-Migold. I don't want you to miss this opportunity. I want you to key into this. There is a lot of opportunity that are out there for you to grab. All you need to do is get yourself in this line, get all the experience that you can gain, and look forward to something good coming. Let me tell you something. The world is looking for FM. FM is needed everywhere. Here in the UK, I see adverts. I've stopped. In fact, some I will just scroll over because there are too many. So there is a lot of opportunity for FM. So starting from Max-Migold, we give you the right footing, the right experience that you need. And I don't want you to miss this opportunity. A short of time, I would have shown you some slides, some things, but this, I think, should be sufficient for anyone who wants to go far. You are in the right place, and I'm congratulating you ahead of your journey. into FM career. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Paul, for being my mentor. And just to add to this, I was also able to pass my certified facility management exam, which took me to the US to go and that I went for the training. Mr. Paul was able to assist in all that I needed for me to pass this exam. And I really want to say thank you to him, and thank you to Max-Migold, and thank you to everyone in the group. So don't waste the time. Please join in. And the sky is below your limit. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. That was fantastic. Thank you. I'm sure everyone listening must have benefited a few things from what you have just shared with us. So quickly, Mr. Ayola, go ahead. Please keep it under 2 minutes, please. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead. We can hear you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm very happy to be part of this program, and I'll be very, very brief, just straight to my experience. Honestly, Max-Migold is the best thing that happened to me this year. How do I mean? It will be so funny to you that my background in university was actually, I was trained as a linguist. But you will smile at me that what am I looking for in facility management? I don't have any background as an FM or a real estate person. But one thing, through a friend, I got myself serving as a facility manager. I can't call it a facility manager. I would say probably a property caretaker in one of the estates here in Lagos. So I worked with this company for 7 years, but actually my career was not growing. I was not moving anywhere because my salary remained the same. There is no knowledge or formal experience for me to strive in the industry. So since 2017, I've been contemplating on how to move professionally in this career. And I've been checking on Max-Migold online. I got their email. I've joined their free session trainings like this like twice. And I've just been contemplating. But the common problem for you and I, is the cost implication. The money was not just there. As a salary earner earning 60K, our family, I could not cope with the price as at then. So in 2022, that was December, I decided to sold my Jalopy car. I sold that car for a very little amount that could cater for this program. And eventually, I enrolled January 2023. My determination was to change my life, get this career going, get another job that will pay me something that will care for my family. So I joined the training. I met Mr. Paul. I said, sir, this is my experience. This is my life. I want a job. And that was it. So I joined the team. We started in class. It was fun, very fun. And a lot of experiences was impacted by all the facilitators. So during the program, I started applying for jobs. And because I have experience in estate management, or let me say caretaker. So that got me, okay, I've been in the environment. I can apply for jobs, even right there that we are motivated in class. That if you have experience, it doesn't matter. You can keep applying. So I started applying via the professional platforms that you guys will have opportunity to join if you enroll in this class. I joined the platform. They added us on the platform. Our senior colleague, posts a lot of jobs, opportunities, and I kept applying. But as this very one, I take it very, like a bicycle attitude. I enrolled on the job, and I was called. I went for the interview. 21 managers came for that interview. I'm like, Ayola, who are you? Look at this experienced real estate surveyors that are now into facility management that you want to compete with. But I must tell you, Max-Migold will impart that confidence in you because you have everything you want from scratch to finish. So I got that confidence because I was fresh in the class. So I believe that I was okay to go for the interview. So I met myself in that office. I didn't know what company it was. I was just there. I had an interview, but I think I impressed them because if you do exam, you will know say you pass. So I was outside. I'm like, can these people pay my price? Because I mentioned some amount that 60K was so far. Because they asked me, you are in 60K, you are calling for above 500K. I said, yeah, with the years of experience and with my trainings, I was just boasting, confidently saying rubbish. But eventually, lo and behold, I was called back for this job. Before I got myself to know the company that employed me, my brother man and my sister, I must tell you that from 60K to almost more than times 5 of my 60K, and with both pension allowance, with CUG line, with a computer system, just well structured. And right now, sir, ma, I must tell you that I'm being pretty fine where I am now. There are opportunities to grow for me. I'm still want to take more courses that Mr. Paul and the Max-Migold offers so that I can continue in this career fully. And my motivation for you guys who joined this program today is that you have started well. And I must say kudos to you. I congratulate you because no matter any discipline you are coming from, this is a multidisciplinary industry. From linguistics, from Yoruba, in as much as you have the ability to lead, to plan, and to delegate, to design, and to critically think and analyze, you are fitting for this profession. You can quickly switch, quickly switch to facility management, and you will strive very well. So I will employ every one of you to please take this opportunity. I sold my car. It doesn't matter. You can sell anything.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. That was inspiring. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your patience so far during this enhanced free training. We want all of you to be rest assured that all the training materials we provided for everyone. At this point, I would like to introduce the MD and CEO of Max-Migold Limited to take us through the training courses for today. But before I do that, let me quickly give you a background of who Mr. Paul is. Mr. Paul Erubami is the MD and CEO of Max-Migold Limited, a specialist facility management company providing management, technology, value-added and cost reduction solutions to property and facility management industry, including FM software, BIM, recruitment, training, audits, asset and energy management. Paul Erubami is the founding registered trustee of the Association of the Facilities Management Practitioners Nigeria, AFMPN, and served in the Pioneer 2021-2022 National Executive Council as Deputy President. He is currently the President of the AFMPN. Max-Migold is a frontrunner in FM education in Africa and delivering training to over 2,000 professionals across the continent through the free Giving Back training series and the comprehensive FM Mastercraft Diploma that delivers internship placement as part of the package. Paul is a chartered member of the Royal Institute of Surveyors and a certified facility manager of both the International Facility Management Association, IFMA, and Institute of Workplace and Facility Management. He teaches the essentials of facility management professionals, sustainability facility professional, and certified facility manager, CFM, credentials with FM Learning System program for IFMA. Paul is an industrial and business process engineer, real estate and property manager with 20 years experience working in strategy implementation, operation system and process development and change management for oil and gas, telecoms, and corporate real estate. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paul is a gift from the gods. I want all of you to sit back and listen as Mr. Paul takes us through this learning process. Your lives will be changed from the end of this training today. Welcome you, Mr. Paul. Please take the floor.
Thank you so much. I'm excited today because I have fantastic trainers. My greatest joy is the fact that I'm not only able to set up something that touches lives and transforms career, but I'm also able to replicate myself. You can just hear people like Tosin, people like Joseph and the others who shared some testimonials. The kind of persons they have become. In a few years' time, I'm excited that I'll be able to step back away from the scene and have these amazing proteges take over the entire process of mentoring the next generation of FM professionals across the continent. So with that, I'll say thank you all for being here. I'm seeing a very fantastic audience. 530 and counting, it's an amazing number for a training session like this. We still have, quite a few who, for technology reasons, could not, come in, and we hope they can resolve those issues and get on. But the good news about technology for us now is that we will have a recording to be ready to have access to this whole presentation videos. It's running live on YouTube, it's running live on Facebook, it's running live on LinkedIn, it's running live on Instagram. So all you need to do is follow, like Max-Migold channel on all of these platforms, and these videos will be yours forever because you can always come back to watch it in those platforms. And the beauty of it is if you're on our YouTube channel, just by sitting on the YouTube channel and watching video to video to video within 1 week, you would have been virtually qualified in terms of knowledge that you would have gathered just from the wealth of experience that has been taught in those training sessions and other recordings we have on our YouTube channel. So please take some time to do that. So I'm going to just share some of the links to our web pages on the chat in this room. You can. It's important that you save them so that you can connect. I'm not able to get the one for Facebook, but just type Max-Migold on Facebook page. We also have a facility management training platform group, service and training on Facebook. I would ask the team to please get the link, drop it in the chat. We want all 500 here present to be able to access these platforms and be part of this is ongoing. The Giving Back series started out in 2016 when we had our first commercial outing, and we decided that not everybody could afford it. We wanted to give back to the society, and ever since then we're doing a minimum of 1 or 2. This year we did 1 in January, and we're doing another one here now. This one is kind of unique because for the first time, I think in the last 2 years, we have provided an opportunity for mass certification at the introductory level. So this basic training you're having today, you will be given an opportunity to become, have a certificate for it, okay? One of the things you're going to hear before we finish this program today is how you will be able to earn this certificate. But I can tell you that if you look at all of the links I have shared, one of the links is the portal.facilitymanagementcourses.com. Portal.facilitymanagementcourses.com is one of the links that I've shared. Please go to portal.facilitymanagementcourses.com.ng and then you will go straight to the Introduction to Facility Management course. We have several courses there, but the Introduction to Facility Management course, if you already have an account on portal.facilitymanagementcourses.com, you just go ahead and enroll yourself for that course. When you enroll yourself for the course, you're going to have access to video recordings. You're going to have access to a step-by-step, coverage of a course that we say it's introduction, but really is comprehensive enough to give you a foot in the door into facility management. And as you finish the course, the first, you watch 2 videos, you go through some PDF presentations, slides in there. You will go through the main course file, which is the presentation that has a full array of content, as well as a quiz, a 10-question quiz. Once you finish each of these sections, at the bottom, you will see the course quiz, the test to acquire the certificates. And then you will take that test. It's a 40-question test. You need to pass it with 24 correct out of the 40. So pay attention to all you're studying now. Pay attention to what you'll be studying on the online platform at portal.facilitymanagementcourses.com.ng. And then at the end of it, you will be allowed to download your certificate. It's automatic. So this is the first time we are putting all of these resources out, and we are assuring you that you can go there and earn the certificate without paying a dime. Okay, so we're doing the introduction today. We have more content on the portal. Finish those content, do the quiz, and get a certificate. Now, there's a strong reason for this. Anywhere you go with a Max-Migold certificate, it is respected. People even get jobs. We are called, we are asked to please verify that this person actually got the certificate from you. We have a repository, we have a directory of all certificates we have issued. If that certificate came from us, the employer respects it and will give you a job, whether it's free or not. Okay? So you can start your FM career by taking this introductory course seriously and getting on with your career. It's important that you hold this certificate. So if we are 540 in this meeting today, I expect that within the next 7 days, when this portal will be open for all of us, each person would have completed the program and downloaded its certificate. It's very important that you do it immediately. As soon as we are done from this training today, get on the portal and please complete the course modules in there, get your certificate downloaded. And when you do earn your certificates, there's something we expect from you. We expect you to tell the world, okay? Share your experiences, share your certificates, share what you have learned. Become an advocate for facility management knowledge and skills. Become a change agent around you and let your network be influenced by the positive impact that you have received from participating in this free training or this free course from Max-Migold. So don't let it slide. Don't let it go to waste on you, okay? So it's very important that you blow your trumpet as soon as you earn the certificate. But please do it quickly. Do it quickly because the portal is not going to be open forever. So don't say you write it back in September or in October to say, Mr. Paul, I didn't get my certificate. No, we are making it open. But we cannot issue you a blanket certificate, just throw you a certificate that you did not deserve. That's why you need to complete the course, you need to take the test, you need to pass it, and then you need to download your certificates, okay? Take it seriously because that particular certificate, that particular course itself is worth 50,000 naira in itself. So what you are getting today for free is actually 50,000 naira in value. So don't play with it, okay? So that's the first point I want to give. Be on our social media platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and just follow up because we have series of ongoing free sessions. In fact, every week we have a free session. We call it a lunch hour. Every week we have a free session. So don't miss out of that. Really, don't miss out of being on the Telegram group as well. Okay, so we've heard a lot from our speakers. FM has, blown up. Let me tell you the facts behind the numbers that you are hearing. Okay, FM in Africa still does not have a stock, a feedstock of professionals. We are not graduating from universities with a degree in facility management, right? So there is that gap. While you have degrees in most other things, FM as a young career has not matured to the point where we have degrees. I mean, the best we have around is a few master's degree. I think maybe in South Africa, you probably have 1 or 2 first degrees in facility management, but it is, few and far in between. So what we have done with the FM Mastercraft Diploma is produce the first professional program that is comprehensive enough to give you the entire body of knowledge, a lot of practical experience and skills, and prepare you for the industry, because we give you a set of projects that you perform as part of the program to become a practicing facility manager, okay? And why is this a big deal? The built environment is going to keep expanding. There are going to be more and more buildings. All buildings need to be managed, both the ones that are coming up and the ones that have been. And the entire building stock or the entire property stock we have in the continent will need a group of professionals who have the full body of knowledge of facility management to be able to manage it. So that's first, the opportunity. Facility management jobs are growing. And secondly, the solution, okay? The solution we are providing is the FM diploma, and you need to tap into this solution. Now, let me give you another fact behind the numbers. If you have anyone, if you know anyone who graduated with you in school, and after graduation, jumped into facility management, took the training and went into the facility management industry, whether as an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, a managerial graduate of political science, name it, sciences, social sciences, and the rest, right? Just look at their career. In less than 5 years, one went into an engineering practice or an architectural practice or a legal practice or a sociology practice, and one branched off from any of all of those disciplines and took a comprehensive program in facility management and took up a job in facility management. In 5 years, the one who went to facility management will be earning twice as much as the person who went with his normal career. Why? While there is an increasing saturation in all the other professions because of the universities and polytechnics churning out more graduates in all of those fields, and competition for those jobs that are getting thinner and thinner, there is increasing opportunity in facility management without a feedstock from the university system. So that's where the trick is happening, okay? So anyone who stops, whether you've been working for 5 years, 3 years, 10 years, for what you are doing, and you're not seeing sufficient career growth, and you say, you know what, I need something that's more pragmatic into a growing industry. The FM industry is your best bet. In 5 years, you will be on an average twice, write that down, the salary earning of those who pursued that degree they went through in university. So that's why this is a big deal for us, okay? What we are doing is not to teach only. We don't teach just the FM body of knowledge. We teach you the FM body of knowledge. We give you practice opportunity with assignments and assessments, field trips to go and see how things are being done in the field, and also an application opportunity with 6 projects. So it's end to end. So if you're able to do that set of projects or through an internship or the place where you work, and you can deliver that, you are not only acquiring the education with the certification that comes with it, you are also acquiring an experience. And by the way, 6 months experience developing real life asset registers, commission assessments, health and safety audits and implementation, emergency planning and business continuity, budgeting, maintenance program preparation. 6 months of doing those core FM projects is worth more than 7 years experience when you did not know and did not apply those FM practices, right? People have been in the FM industry. We heard Olanguju's testimonial a minute ago about how he was stuck 7 years as an FM, no growth. 1 year, In fact, while he was still in the FM diploma program, his language has changed, his mindset has changed, his strategic positioning has changed. His ability to win a bigger paying job has already just landed on the palm of his hands. He took it, he moved on, and now he's soaring. That's exactly the story of virtually everybody. We have close to 600 people who have gone through this same experience in the last 5 years. So don't think it's isolated. This is the story of virtually all of them. So don't leave yourself out of this. And what are you going to cover? What is it you're going to cover? A whole set of courses. The FM Foundation. In fact, we're going to look at them one by one. I'm going to spend some time because I really need to give you a wider view of facility management. You can't say, I want to be a facility manager, or I'm learning something about facility management when you are not fully aware of what it takes to do of what everything is. All right. So and then I'll take your questions. Please keep them coming. I'll be taking your questions as we go. Put them in the chat. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Telegram, wherever you are, streaming this right now, put your questions in there. The team will put the questions together and bring them for me, and I'll be able to answer to them. So you need to understand the scope of what facility management covers, because sometimes an accountant says, I'm an accountant, I'm not a facility manager. Why do I need to be a facility manager? Interestingly, the facility manager is not an accountant, but he needs accounting to do facility management. The engineer says, I'm an engineer, or I'm not a facility manager. Well, the facility manager needs some engineering to do facility management, right? The catering, quartermasters, the chef, the camp bosses, they know their own area of business. But to be an FM, you need to know those areas as well. Landscaping, gardening, quality, financial, customer service, leader, contracts, real estate and property management, plumbing, the building fabric, equipment and maintenance, human resource management, a whole lot. So just looking at this list, you can see straight away that the facility manager is a jack of all trades and master of all. Now, there's a difference between a master and a specialist. A specialist is a narrow-minded person who is focused on one particular aspect to detail. He's a hands-on person. The master is the one who understands how to scope work for the specialist and knows the results the specialist needs to produce in a bid to harness several specialists to provide a holistic solution for the end user. That's who the facility manager is. So he's a jack of all trades. He knows plumbing, he knows electrical, he knows construction, he knows catering, he knows cleaning, he knows strategic planning, he knows accounting, he knows contracts, he knows property management, he knows how to manage quality and measure and benchmark, he knows how to create performance maintenance records and manage assets and so on and so forth. He knows all of those and is a master of them. He produces one singular experience for the end user. And that's part of what we're looking at in this course today. So I'll get into that. But quickly, let me run through some of the things you're going to benefit in being in the FM diploma. You're going to earn a certificate that is highly recognized. I can assure you of that, from the go. You heard Olayemi Kasali's journey from Nigeria to the US, back to Nigeria to acquire the FM diploma, and then his CFM, now to the UK, and he's working, in a fantastic organization. That is clear. Everybody, every time we get those testimonials in, we also get employers from abroad writing to us to verify and confirm the certificates that we have issued to people who have been to this program. So this is highly recognized, and it's gaining global recognition. The reason it's gaining more and more global recognition is that all the people who have gone through the program have moved in many directions, and they are making huge impact. In the last class that we had, that's just wrapping up, we have participants from at least 10 countries, across Africa. And that's exactly the kind of Pan-African outreach that we are getting on the program. We also have Middle East candidates from Qatar and other parts of the Middle East joining the program. So it's gaining that kind of relevance. So don't see what we are doing, started a few years ago to small. Now it is growing and it's going global. So it is something that becomes more and more recognized because of the powerful positions that graduates from this program are beginning to hold and are beginning to wield influence over the FM industry in professional associations across the continent, especially here in Nigeria. What qualifies to be in the program? I tell you basically, get through a secondary education, acquire some experience. You have a diploma or you have a degree, it's added advantage. We've had people who hold PhDs coming on the program. We've had PhD in architecture, PhD in business, lecturers in universities in the program. In the last 2 classes and in the current class that are just rounding up, we have people with such qualification. We've had heads of military formations. We've had matrons of hospitals coming here. Now, the reason is that the program is structured in such a way that if you are a beginner, a complete novice in facility management, you gain everything from basic to advanced. You get into the industry from the top, not from the bottom anymore, because usually people get into work, they don't know how to strategically, they don't know how to think strategically. They are at the shop floor. They are being told what to do. They don't see beyond their noses, as it were, right? It's just about counting the numbers, checking on this and checking on that. That's all they get into. And it takes them 10, 15, 20 years to become strategic, to get into positions where they have to look long-term, create capital planning, do performance appraisals, do contractual evaluations. Some of those strategic stuff don't get to them easily, right? But in the FM diploma, you are straight green, fresh, and we are teaching you how to do all that. So even if you get into the job and you are still young in the profession and you are being told what to do with the store, how to supervise contractors, how to watch out for this and watch out for that, you are doing all that, but you are leaving this training with why? Because you will start your career at how. You're being shown how things are done. You will move on to what? When you start getting involved in budgeting, start deciding, choices between this type of equipment and that type of equipment, right? And then you now move up to why, which is strategic positioning. What strategy to deploy? Should we outsource? Should we insource? All those kind of big questions. What kind of technology should we deploy? Should we put in more people? Should we get more experts in this area or that area? You are thinking at a very advanced level. Now, you're starting your career having considerations of why. So the kind of thing that should be, the reasoning behind the minds of your superiors, you've been taught with it right from the scratch. So when you are told to go and stand outside and watch how the gardeners are doing their job and make sure that they don't mix the chemicals too poorly to damage the flowers and so on and so forth, that is what they're asking you to do. But while you are doing that what, you already not only know what, while you are doing that how, you already know what, and then you now know why, right? You will do it better. You will not come back with foolish, stupid questions. You will have your own initiative that aligns what is being done with why the boss wants it done, and you will definitely do it better. So in terms of the requirements, please feel free. I've seen people who have done HSC, they've struggled in the industry a little bit, and HSC. I tell you, please come to FM. Once you become a facility manager, HSC is one of the skills that we use in facility management to deliver FM. You will never look for work once you have HSC and you've taken facility management training. So if I have struggled with project management, I'm a project manager, I've done this, I've done that, please come to FM. If you are in construction projects that when it stops, you are laid off and you have to look for another construction project, please don't bother yourself anymore. Come to FM, you have stability, you have a consistent job. You will still be a construction manager as you've always been a project manager, but now you have facility management, which is a settling down, because you always have work. If they build a new one, somebody will manage it. The old one, somebody will manage it. So you will always be there. So if you're a fresh graduate, you just studied architecture, studied engineering, studied sociology, studied any of those things, come to FM, learn, get qualified, gain some experience, and you will see stability in your career. So it's straightforward. We train, we teach, we take you out to go and see, we test you, we assess you, and we give you project to perfect what you have learned. We have 3 months of continuous training and practice, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. We make it flexible. So I'm working, I'm busy. Don't let that be an excuse, please. Don't let that be an excuse. Okay. For those who domestic candidates who can come to the training center on Saturdays, you can do the Saturday physical class from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. every Saturday for 3 months. What are the fees? 7.5 registration, international students $15. Virtual class, joining remotely by Zoom, anywhere you are in the world, 350K Naira and 750,000 for the international US dollars for the international, and fiscal class is $450,000 or $900. Let me tell you something that is special today because you are here. All 500 or more plus of you who are here today are going to get a special offer. But I'll give you the formal offer. Okay, we have a 20% team discount. If you have 5 or more from your team, you get 20% off. If you pay before the class starts date, your full money, you get 10% off. So don't even bother to pay the money and expect that discount. Deduct your discount straight away and pay the difference into the account on the website. Now, if you don't have the full money to pay, forget about the discount, okay? But you can pay 50% down and 50% 1 month later while you are already tasting the program. If you know any alumni of this program, over 600 of them, grab one of them and say, please, instead of this 10% discount, you can use your name to increase to 15% discount, right? So the alumni tells you, yes, go and tell them and you are from Joseph, right? And then they'll turn your 10% to 15% discount. Every discount is outside payment. You don't take a discount and also expect an installment payment. Then for those who will want to spread it out into their salaries, I mean, their salary is not very big right now. We are guaranteeing you that in 1 year time, you're going to be earning 1.5 to 2 times what you're currently earning, right? But you want to use the current, salary you're earning to spread it out over 12 months or 6 months. Only for the virtual program, we have a direct debit scheme that allows you to spread it out. The details are on the website. So you either pay 7,000 or 80,000 monthly for 6 months, and or 35,000 monthly or so for the 12 months. The details are on the website. So please look that up and take advantage of that. What you simply just do is that there's a link. You click on the link for the payment. When you get to the payment section, you pay only one part of the 6 or 12 parts, and then it automatically takes the remaining balance on a monthly basis. Make sure your account is funded, because if your account stops being funded, then the money doesn't come out and flags you up as a schema. We don't want fraudsters in our midst. Okay, but again, the FM industry is a small world. We make bold to present these offers because we know that you cannot run away with the training and go and start grandstanding. It's a small network. We'll get to find out who is trying to scheme. But again, we want to make as many people as possible able to get on board. But this offer I'm going to announce is the mother of all offers. I'm not writing it down anywhere. I'm not going to say it too many times. It's not going to be published. It's going to be for your ears only. So pay attention. Between today and next week, Saturday, is 14th, I think. Yeah, no, next week, Saturday will be 11th. Yes, please. 11th of August. I'm giving out a bonanza, a 10 million naira bonanza. The first 100 persons who want 100,000 from me, write it down, 100,000 free out of the fee. If you pay 250,000 naira for the virtual class, domestic price, instead of 350, or 350,000 for the physical class instead of 450 between today and the 11th of August. Consider it full payment. You only need to pay a registration fee of 7.5. So this 100 people would take 100,000 each. That accumulates to 10 million naira giveaway. For the international students, we are making it $150. So instead of paying $750, you are paying only $600, and we're making that available to the first 20. We cannot give too many of those discounts out. So the first 20 to make payments into the international USD domiciliary account we have on the website will take $150 off and pay just $600 and be covered for the entire 6 months training, be covered for 3 months training, 6 months for the project, making a total of 9 months, a maximum training period, and also lifetime mentorship. Your career will be managed. We have a talent management portal where everybody that goes through this program is set up. You create your profile there, and we're going to be not only starting with you where you are right now, like your baseline professional profile, but we're going to be moving you from profile level to profile level. We'll call you up for offers and opportunities. We'll move you when you stay too long in a place and you're becoming rusty. And when you are feeling disgruntled about a place where you are, we'll move you. Be rest assured, you'll be under pressure to move, get jobs that are too quick. I will be there to stop you. You need to gain some experience, but you also need to show what value you have delivered. And that's the only condition you must meet before when I'm mentoring you, to agree with you to say, I'm leaving from one job to another job. You can't jump into a job and in less than 1 year, you have not made very significant value that management can testify for you freely without any equivocation, and you say you want to leave. No, that would be a failing move. I won't allow that. Okay. So, but then I'm promising you lifetime, career management, and this is for everybody. So, $250 for the virtual, or $600, and $350 for the physical, or $750. So that's 100,000 naira off and $150 off, whatever option you are choosing. If you see, we're not writing it down anywhere. I'm going to mention it one more time at the end of the class today, so that everyone gets to hear it again. So we don't mince words, but it's not going to be issued on any document. Just make your payment and say, hey, Mr. Paul, I was in training. I heard that you gave us 100,000 naira. Here's my full payment. And I'll reply, well done. You got it. Okay. Because I'm on video, it's recorded. So this is going to stick. All right. All right. What are the courses you're going to cover? FM career. You're going to learn about FM education, opportunities for qualifications, certifications that are available in FM, the kind of work available in FM, career progression and career opportunities, what difference is between working in the FM industry as an FM service provider or as a demand organization, what we used to call the client organization, serving person. We'll have the business case presentation. We have the business case presentation skills, which would be communication, crafting a business case, effective presentations. Some of the things that employers are looking for is what we're going to be teaching here. So you're going to be getting to the workplace prepared already. And we're going to look at strategic facility planning. This is the big picture reasons why senior management, MDs, CEOs, they tend to do FM related tasks because they don't think we understand the business. They think we see ourselves as outsiders. And because we see ourselves as outsiders, we are not even able to reason the way they do when taking decisions regarding the business. And that becomes a problem, right? So in the strategic facility planning course, you're going to learn how to develop alignment strategies between FM strategy, FM activities, and strategic business plan, the vision, the mission of the organization, and so on and so forth. And then we're going to learn HR. FM manages people, whether those you are working with, your staff and your vendors, or those you are serving, the customers, we need to understand effective HR. Sometimes we think HR is a profession for people who are in HR. That's not correct. HR is actually a profession that we should all be in. If you're managing people at any level in the organization, you are in HR, because at the end of the day, while the HR are involved in setting policies, documenting processes, enforcing rules and regulations, the actual activity of managing and supervising people and appraising them is yours to do if you are managing people. So we teach you that. Then the air conditioning, one of the biggest challenges we have in facilities today. You learn from one of the experts we have, one of the top experts we have in the country, the secrets, the tricks, the tips you need to navigate this thorny issue. People are not comfortable, you are not doing anything at all. And then we'll look at design build commissioning, all of that building life cycle and how the FM should be involved in design to construction to deliver. What exactly should the FM be thinking about through this process? Are you going to wait till the facility is virtually delivered before you now say, well, yes, I have a job to do? We don't encourage that. So we take this course to teach you how to get involved, the entire process of quality assurance in the delivery process. Because when it's delivered properly, you have a better facility to manage. We teach you facility condition assessment. We say you don't know how to, you cannot manage what you don't know, right? And if you don't understand the condition of your facilities, you can't plan for the maintenance. You cannot plan for its operations. So condition assessment helps you to identify, define and calculate things like facility condition index that drives into your budgeting, that drives into all the other processes you use to determine how investments are done in your assets. And then the asset management itself. How do you identify assets? What are the things you should know about the building assets that you're in charge of? People just manage sites for years, and you ask them how many days they don't know, what's the capacity of that they don't know, how many times has that been done to that you don't know. You don't even have any way of tracking assets, we'll teach you that here. Space, a big deal. You heard about abusing and misusing space as a big deal in the modern world. We're going to teach you how to understand the value of space allocation, move management, space planning and processes. And then we're going to look at sustainability and energy management. In fact, in the next course that you're starting, we want to separate the two. Sustainability is a big issue. We've been glossing it over and focusing too much on the energy management. Both of them are going to stand as independent courses in this next batch. It's a huge aspect of our operations. In fact, for most of us, we would expect between 40 and 60% of our operational expenses going into energy alone. And if you're not smart on how to manage that, then you're doing yourself a great disservice. And then we take a lot of resources from the end in terms of materials and energy, water, and then we use them to provide spaces and services. And then we give back toxic and waste material to landfills and stuff. We have to learn to mitigate how we exploit the earth on both ends, so that future generations can also see these resources to use. So that's a cost in its own. And then plumbing. Water comes in, we need water for virtually everything. Water comes in, we use it and it goes out. All that whole process of water and sewage is a very technical area, but a lot of management skills that you get from this training. And then FM organization, how to set up an FM department, the organizational model, components of organizational structure, major drivers of the model, whether you're in total FM or in integrated FM approaches. We'll look at that in that course. And then projects. We do routine stuff in operations, and we also do projects on a regular basis. You will have a day for an expert to come in and teach you project management as it relates to facility management. Many of us don't realize that the entire body of knowledge available for project managers, they are skills we need in FM. So somebody comes to me and say, oh, I'm a project manager, I don't need to be an FM. I say, stop saying you're a project manager, because that is not a profession, that's a skill. A doctor needs to be a project manager. A facility manager needs to be a project manager. An accountant needs to be a project manager. A nurse needs to be a project manager. Somebody who's doing a business in the market needs to be a project manager, because there's a process for achieving every end result. And that's what project management is. Whenever there's going to be a step change or a major drastic improvement, a project is implemented. You must know project management as a skill, not as a profession, because if you don't have a domain, project management becomes useless to you. Oh, I'm a project management manager. So what kind of projects do you execute? Are you a construction project manager? No. Okay, you don't know construction. Are you a facility manager? No, you don't. Are you a medical doctor? No. Are you a finance expert? No. Are you an IT consultant or IT project manager? No. I'm just a project manager. You are wasting your life because that gives you no standing, except you want to be a clerk, who can set up the process and allow the experts to take to you exactly what you should go into the various points and how things should be done. And then the first impression of every facility, oh, this facility is so wonderful. Oh, they are maintaining it so well. Oh, it's cleaning. It's cleaning, you are saying, clean and hygiene. What are the key knowledge areas, skills that you must know? I mean, some people say they're clean. They look around and, oh, this place is clean. And somebody else comes in and says, for goodness sake, this place is run down. All right, so what's the difference? What do you look out for? What systems you should put in place for cleaning? Electrical and power. This is a huge area. Power, we talked about energy, but then we're now looking at all of those systems, the transformers, generators, the diesel system, the electrical cabling, and all of those controls must be put in place. Electrical system help to send power in to make our buildings work so that we can be functional in the spaces we manage. But they're also a big danger when it comes to fires, shocks, and other hazards. What should you know about earthing? What should you know about protection? What should you know about fluctuations and all of that? You will know them on this course. And then health and safety. Whether there's an HSC officer or not, the facility manager is directly responsible for the health and safety of his space. Everybody that comes in, you are liable to be the one held accountable for their safety. You can have HSC officers and other people who do one thing or the other to control, to inspect, to document your failures or the rest. But the ultimate responsibility is on the facility manager to make sure everybody, both those who work there, those who work for you, and those who visit and stay in the spaces are all safe. And then we look at firefighting equipment, how to handle a fire outbreak, emergency plans, building fire codes in that class. We're going to look at FM technology. Here we're going to look at all of this computerization. So the buildings are evolving. The management technology that we use to manage the buildings are also evolving. So if you're still on logbooks and maybe spreadsheets, you've not moved to software yet, we are already saying that software is already going, right? Because we are moving into Internet of Things and smart buildings, systems that have logic built into them. You have to be part of this evolution, learn how technology is moving in the built environment, and know exactly where you are, right? But we don't recommend that because you have you've learned about technology, you should go ahead and just invest in technology. No, there is an evolution for every organization and every individual through that technology path. You must know where you belong and know where to move on with. And then workplace productivity. This is very huge part of our course. And this is why we say the program that we deliver is not only just to teach you the work, the job, is to teach you how to navigate, how to move in your career. How do you find a job? How do you achieve success on the job? How do you grow from step to step, stage to stage on the job? What are some of the things that can help you excel? So we'll talk about report writing, we'll talk about presentation and communication, we'll talk about other items that will help you grow in this profession. And then for those of us who at some point or even currently already are in the business of facility management, because this is not, all of this we are teaching is not just for you to navigate your way in the corporate ladder. No, you want to start a business, you want to know how to package your business, you want to know how to reach out to customers, want to win contracts and so on and so forth. We teach you all of that in this course as well. So it's a big deal. Stay tuned, and we look forward to so many people joining the program. We have enough capacity to accommodate everyone here in the class that we're running. All right, so in today's session, I'm going to run you through three key introductory concepts. Introduction to FM briefly. Much of it has been done by the other presenters. I'm going to stay a little bit on those productivity skills for the modern workplace. And then I'm going to wrap up with a few minutes of health and safety. So stay tuned, keep your questions coming. I have a few questions already sent to me. I'm going to just be talking about them as soon as I go through this presentation. So in the definition, the ISO definition of facility management, I want you, FM is the organizational function which integrates people, place, and process within the built environment with the purpose of improving quality of life of people and the productivity of the core business. I want you to just go straight to the bottom of that definition, to the end of it, right? See the end from the beginning. Why are you interested in facility management? Why are you in facility management? What do you hope to achieve with a career in facility management? Improve the quality of life of people and the productivity of the core business. So one, you must know what makes people's life functional and their well-being improved. So ergonomy, safety, security, absence of illnesses, accidents, and the rest, right? And then functionality. They should be able to find easy ways of getting done what they need to get done, and be comfortable in the spaces that they have to get their job done. Focus on the people, number one. Focus on the core business. You must understand the core business from the level of strategy all the way down to why the organization even employs people in the first place. So before you start mistreating an employee who is going to be paid at the end of the month, you ask yourself, how is my action going to add to the productivity of the core business? All right? How are the costs, the money I'm running on a daily basis, how are they improving the profitability of the core business? Because you can single-handedly run the organization down to the path of losses and eventually out of business, right? So think about how you are improving the productivity of the core business. How did FM start? It started many years ago, but it wasn't called facility management until the late, early 80s, when we started having the International Facility Management Association. The British Institute of Facility Management came up later, 13 years later. The RICS, the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors, have been around since the 18th century. But all of these have mostly focused on the engineering of construction, engineering, delivery process, and then the maintenance. The focus on maintenance is what has made FM not to rise out of the shadows for many centuries, because maintenance was seen as what FM does, but that's not the whole story. FM is not just a technical discipline that's into maintenance. FM is a management discipline. The FM's job is to understand maintenance and get the hands-on guys to do the maintenance. You are doing the documentation, the scoping, the supervision, and all of those interactions that comes with it, and you are providing results from that maintenance to ensure operations is run effectively. All right. So we're no longer a reactive, operationally focused set of processes, but now a proactive, strategic one. Okay. One which sees buildings as a means, as being dynamic entities. These are assets and not liabilities. Okay. So FM is managerial. FM is not technical. Doesn't mean that you won't learn the technical. I told you we're jack of all trades and master of all, right? All right, so I'm going to look at the competencies and then critical skills you need to succeed in FM. But please look at the charts, the link on the charts. There's a survey link that you need to complete. That is the only way we will know you attended this class. There are so many people that are not here today that will write back to us and say, oh, we were there, right? So please, while the class is ongoing, you can copy the link, save it, open it in your browser, and as we progress to the end, you complete the survey link, the feedback form, and you turn it in. It's very important that you do that. That is the only way we can, know that you were here and that you are entitled to, earn the certificate at the end of this program. Please don't miss that. Okay. So I think someone else should, someone in the team should please write that instruction in the chat as well. That's very critical that everyone who are here completes the feedback form so that their attendance will be recorded. Okay. Because if we screenshot the entire attendees in this training today, we'll only have names. We'll hardly be able to get your emails and phone numbers to know that it is you, okay? So that we can enable your access to the free training portal. Of course, it's open, but then your certificates will be dependent on your ability to complete this feedback form, please. So the International Facility Management Association, the foremost FM body in the world, came up with these 11 core competencies. This was not just arrived at by looking around and guessing. No, it was a global job task analysis survey that was done in 2009 and again in 2020 that reaffirmed that these are the competencies. The FM must be a good communicator. You must be risk-minded. Emergency preparedness and business continuity is now called risk management. The proactivity level that goes beyond the normal plans to the abnormal plans, where you have alternative plans for how to respond when things don't work in the normal, right? And then environmental stewardship and sustainability, which is just now sustainability, finance and business, human factors, where we have the health and safety, leadership and strategy, operations and maintenance, project management, quality, real estate and property management, and technology. All of these are the core competencies, and there's a course that will take you through each of these competencies one after the other. What are some critical skills you need to excel in facility management? If you look at the list I have displayed, you will find that most of this list is talking about soft skills, interpersonal relationship, team working, leadership, innovative approach, emergency reflexes, positive attitude, procurement and negotiation, time management, project management, research, writing, being IT savvy, being able to look at technology to deploy, numerical know-how. A few are technical related skills, but all of these skills are needed to excel in facility management. And these are all covered in the FM diploma, by the way. In summary, I've looked at all of it and I've broken it down into 3 key skills. The first one is an analytical skill, a data-driven mindset. The second is communication skills. Communication skills is everything, being able to come up with concepts, develop visions and missions, be able to get people aligned, be able to understand and share understanding with people and get things done. And then leadership, being able to influence people above you, people at your level, and people below you, and getting solutions. Facility management is a young profession because we say, oh, we're less than 40 years old and stuff like that. But we've been around for a while, enough to have many professional associations across the world. To the extent we now have a global FM body, which is a body that registers professional associations. In Nigeria, we have the Association of Facility Management Practitioners, the AFMPM, and many other countries also have their own associations. Belong to one as much as possible. The FM has matured in Nigeria. This was just a timeline of how we have grown to the point where we have the AFMPN in 2017 and some of its objectives. So if you belong to the Association of Facility Management Practitioners, you will be a part of a national facility management body of professionals, okay? We have a website. I'll ask a member of the team to please drop the AFMPN website, afmpn.org. AFMPN membership is just 10,000 naira per annum. It doesn't cost you anything, okay? But you will have the opportunity to mingle with professionals, get mentorship, get opportunities to serve in committees and grow your career and become recognized. Just having your certificate of membership of AFMPN